Good afternoon. This morning was too rainy and shitty to do a walking to work video, so now it's a nice, slightly nippy October afternoon. I approve of this weather very much. And I didn't get to talk about the Twin Peaks party very much. There's not a lot to say. We had a great time. It was nice to take my mind off the whole account being terminated. And a lot of our friends hadn't actually seen Twin Peaks, and so we all watched the pilot while eating cherry pie, and that was a great experience. It was great watching the pilot again after, now that season 3 is aired, and I'm guessing that's the end of Twin Peaks. I think we have seen the ending, so it is interesting to go back, watch the pilot. A lot of things play very differently. There's that scene where Bobby is being interrogated by Hawk and Andy. I don't know, just a lot of nice character moments. There's people who when I saw them in The Return, I didn't recognize them, and it's like, oh, right, of course, Mrs. Briggs. But Twin Peaks is great, and our friends were into it. They were thoroughly captivated. It has such a great hook. It really reels you in, and then immediately they want to know who the killer is, and you're like, even if we told you, it wouldn't make sense. But so we've set them on that journey, and we've also started. My wife and I, we started season 2 of Stranger Things, and I like Stranger Things. Watching the first season, I felt like I was very critical of it all the way through, and then somehow it won me over. I wasn't even sure how, because story-wise, I think it has a lot of problems, or at least it just gets very redundant, and it's like, oh, why the fuck, what? It's like, oh, how are they going to capture 11 this time? The same fucking way they did the last few times? Oh, yes. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, the same thing again. Anyway, but nevertheless, it was still, story problems aside, it has a great atmosphere, and that's why if I had any disappointments about the story, it's because I just didn't feel it lived up to the atmosphere. I thought the cast is great. I don't know, everyone kind of, it did feel kind of like lightning in a bottle, like all the things that people love about it. They lucked out in a lot of ways, but also it feels like season 2 is repeating a lot of what worked. So I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if story-wise things have improved. I'm only 3 episodes in. It's too early to tell. But already I'm like, okay, that was a little easy. But we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's a perfect thing to watch at this time of year. Both, the combination of, 80s nostalgia. It does evoke, the Halloweens I remember from my childhood, even though I was very young at the time. I was 4 in 1984. But just a few years after that, things weren't that different. So yeah, Twin Peaks, Stranger Things. What else? I need to make some more Doctor Who videos. We've gotten into the Tennant years, rewatching the Tennant years. Oh, it's great. It's great revisiting those early episodes. They age extremely well. I don't know. I like them more than I did at the time. Especially now, knowing where the series has gone, knowing how connected it is to the classic series, to the Doctor Who that I love. It all just feels like one big continuous story, and no, it's great. Actually, looking at the early David, the first season with Christopher Eccleston and the first one with David Tennant made me realize the show hasn't actually changed that much. A lot of the things that people pick apart, it is still broadly the same show. Some of the details change. The emphasis changes. And I don't know. Fans get a bit hysterical. Well, there we go. I've rambled about TV for about 5 minutes. I think that's enough. I'm almost to the train, so I will talk to you possibly later today. Maybe I'll do Upper Nard Smith. Who knows? I will see you then.